Hello, dental speakers and consultants, and welcome to the Healthy Speaker Podcast. I am your host, Vanessa Emerson, founder of Dental Speaker Institute and Dental Speakers Bureau, and I am very excited to be here with our colleague and dear friend, Dr. Jen Muphy. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here as well.
I am too. I'm really excited to share. I met Jen not that long ago. It was in summer, I guess it was, of 2022 at the Dental Festival, and recognized immediately what a expert she is in the area of fitness and wellness. And as you look at her life, I mean, she's an avid athlete all her life. She's a triathlete woman. I was trying to come up with a new term that didn't quite work. But marathons in the past, and I mean, just really impressive what you have accomplished in your life. And on top of that, a dentist. So there's that accomplishment, and somebody who's every day, helping others have healthy results that help affect their life. I just there's so much that you have to share with us. I asked Jen to come today to talk for a few minutes to share with my community, speakers and consultants who are on the go frequently. I find that we in this community can sometimes struggle to fit in all those healthy habits that we know we should be doing in order to feel better and to have more energy and all that. So I asked Jen here to share with us her top tips for speakers and consultants, especially as we're on the go, to be able to make healthier choices and live a healthier life. So that's my cue up for you, Jen. I'd love for you to share with us your thoughts.
I'm ready. Hit it out of the park.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm just really excited to be able to share some of this information with all of those dental speakers and consultants out there. I know we're all super busy, and I think we make a lot of this harder than it needs to be, and we get tripped up in our own overthinking, quite honestly. Talking about, I'll call it movement. A lot of times we think exercise, fitness, whatever you want to call it. Really, it's just about moving our bodies.
Right.
And I love this study that came out last year from the Journal of the American Medical Association, talking about how even just 10 minutes a day of exercise, how many deaths it could prevent, how it reduces your mortality risk. So just thinking 10 minutes, a lot of times we think we need an hour. Well, I don't have an hour, so I'm not going to do anything. So just having 10 minutes, I mean, we can find 10 minutes. One thing with travel, as I started to travel more last year, you mentioned the dental festival, is when we get to the airport, rather than hurrying to the gate and trying to find a chair, right? Maybe you get to your gate, make sure everything looks kosher, but then go for a walk, right? I mean, when you're at the airport, just go for a walk before you're going to get on a plane and sit for how long anyways.
Right. That makes it easy, right? Because then you don't have to find a gym. It's exactly. Like it makes it hard when you think, oh, I have to meet a class at a certain time and I've got to get there. So what you're saying is like, that's something we could just work into our everyday. Are there other tips for the everyday that we could work in?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think walking, I love using it. I mean, like, as you mentioned, I really do enjoy running. I know a lot of people don't. So walking, it's simple, easy, free, and you could do it anywhere just by yourself, like you indicated, no special equipment needed. So another big tip is working on our hydration and getting that water in. Again, with traveling, we know how drying that air can be on a plane, and I get it. Like it's hard, and then drink more water. You have to go to the bathroom more. But it's so important. So I tell people to focus on half of your body weight in ounces is a good goal to shoot for. And one way that I do that, because that sounds like could be a lot of water, is starting off in the morning. I'll be honest, sometimes I drink close to 30 ounces first thing in the morning.
Wow.
Just to really, I take some lemon juice and have a good cup of that. And then I have this vitamin C powder I love. Like last year was getting sick, so added that to my regimen, and then have some plain water with the vitamins and supplements I take. So right off the bat, and first thing in the morning, you've been sleeping all night, and your body, we wake up and we're dehydrated. So getting that in first thing, and then trying to set goals throughout the day to reach that total daily goal.
I would tell you that for me, I noticed that like never in my life, I'm almost 60. And so never in my life did I recognize what you just talked about as being important. Like you hear people say that, but until this last year when autoimmune problems started within my body, and I'm finding that something so simple as trying to drink, I have probably 2 to 3 liters a day, which I don't know,
Yeah.
I'd have to do like the math if that's even the right amount, but I can tell a big difference in how I feel and my joints and just my brain fog and like everything when I don't get enough water. And it seems so simple that we bypass it. And like clean water, right? Not like, oh, there's water in my coffee.
Right, exactly. I know some people, that could be a debate right there about, does your coffee count or not? I do not count my coffee. I don't think that counts. Now, I will say if I make a cup of hot tea, I just water in there with the tea bag, I do count that.
And even that probably depends on whether it's like, I like my black tea to get my caffeine in, but like black tea is going to be different than green tea, right? So it
That's
comes
true.
back to the individual probably.
Yep,
Works for them.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's powerful.
absolutely, absolutely. Let's see here. There's just so many things to talk about around these topics. I just love it. I mean, nutrition is another thing that I feel comes up, and it is hard when you're traveling and you're busy. One of the things that I suggest is focusing on protein and veggies. Like when you're going out to eat, it can be easy, I feel like, to fall into like, what sounds good or what is everybody else having, but thinking of food more of as fuel, and then also how we're going to feel afterwards. Like, yes, maybe that pizza sounds really good and it's going to taste really good, but afterwards you're going to feel really lethargic and tired and floaty, versus choosing a really nice salad with a piece of salmon or tofu or whatnot. And afterwards, I mean, that's still going to taste really good. And afterwards, you're going to feel really good too. And you're going to be energized for the rest of your day or evening. So that's I think another great tip.
What do you think about time of day, like that at night? Like if you like, we're out traveling, we're with our clients, we're at meetings, and so often we end up going to a restaurant that's like 7 or 8 o'clock at night before you get this big meal. What are your thoughts on that for our health?
Yeah, it is. This is not ideal,
No,
but it is so true. In fact, last year I think a group of us went out and it was like 9
yeah,
for dinner, and I'm like, that's close to my ideal bedtime. So
right.
yeah, it's challenging in those environments. It's not ideal. I mean, I know you actually shared the book Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life with me, and oh my goodness, that has so many wonderful nuggets. And one of which they talk about, really, you should eat a light breakfast. Lunch should be our biggest meal around noon. And then dinner really should be fairly light, and try to wrap that up ideally by 6
Right.
p.m. You ideally want to be done eating about 3 hours before bed. Now, I know I can't do that days that I am dentisting. I don't get home sometimes till 6 o'clock. So that doesn't always happen, but we don't live in a perfect world, but these are just some goals, some things to keep in mind.
Right. And even if we were to have a bigger lunch and a lighter dinner earlier would make a difference, right? So yes, that book, thank you for reminding me. I've got it here on my Audible still. Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life. It's an
Yes.
incredible book. Dr. Suhas, I wouldn't be able to say his last name, it's there at the top, but you find it on Audible. And what he talked about too is about our digestion, like things I didn't know until right? That your digestion's not just always the same. There's different times of the day where it burns more. I just know for me, like if I want to keep my weight steady and I don't want to gain, one big key for me is just don't eat late at night.
Yeah, it's true. Because
Feel heavy and bogged down.
right. And you go to bed and then that food is just kind of sitting there. And then really while you're sleeping, your body needs to be doing other things, not digesting food. So during your sleep. So that
Yeah.
is such a great point, Vanessa. And yeah, that book was excellent.
One thing I have started doing on this really on this topic, but also on the water topic, is when I travel, I try to find a Whole Foods. You know,
Yes.
try to look around for some kind of a store. It doesn't have to be Whole Foods, but like a grocery store, because we're so used to like, oh, there's a pizzeria on the corner, or there's like, you know, these
Yeah.
heavy food options. If we can get somewhere where we can go out, if you're going to be somewhere for a couple of days and have a little mini fridge, like I'll go out and get a bag of carrots, like some guacamole I can dip in there. So like try to get as much
Yeah.
veggies as I can without just eating salads every meal.
Yeah. No, that is another great tip. And that's why I loved actually about where the Dew retreat was last year, how
Yeah.
there was the Whole Foods right there. And that hotel did have, I always, when I travel, like I try to find a hotel that at least has a fridge. And another tip, a lot of times if they don't guarantee like a microwave, you can ask like ahead of time, try to request that, which can open up your options as well. And I love that too. Yeah, I did that. I think both at then and at the dental festival. The hotel didn't have breakfast, but I went, found a Whole Foods. So I got a good walking there and
Mhm.
back, and got some things to have on hand for a healthy breakfast. And that, well, at Whole Foods, when I checked out, I thought, oh my goodness, seems like a lot of money. Really, it saved me versus I heard people spending $20 or more for breakfast every day. So
For
help
sure.
save your waist and your wallet.
That's right. And I think for me, what I'm taking from your comments here is it's really about planning and thinking it through ahead of time, which reminds me of something I do want to share, is that Jen is my health coach. And so we started working together, and I have some goals over the next 10 weeks before our annual session. I have some goals that I'd like to accomplish. Yes, there's a weight loss goal in there, you know, not a major one, but like to help me get my winter pounds off. But beyond that too, like just the reminder, it's been so valuable to me, Jen, like we've seen quick results in just having someone to hold me accountable. Like I am a coach, I am a health coach. But I think, you know, it's like, but still having
We
someone
all,
to hold you
yeah.
accountable makes all the difference, because I feel like I need a diet buddy that reminds me, let's not eat that this late, or let's get up and make sure we get our meditation in, or let's get out and walk before we get into work, which is hard for me to do when it's cold. So I just want to mention to all of my colleagues out here, because I know anytime I mention to someone that I'm working with you, they immediately raise their hand. They're like, I that's what I want. So one thing is I wanted to share to reach out to Dr. Jen Muphy. So Jen at drjenmurphy.com, and the website drjenmurphy.com, to be able to find out more about, you know, working with her. I imagine you probably do some like a comp consult or something for someone was that
Oh yeah. Yep.
who wants to find out
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And I know you have like some group coaching and some other programs that are on their way soon. I just wanted to mention that, but also for our colleagues, Jen is going to be speaking at our meeting in May on the 4th. I know I cannot wait. This program, every day right now, the program is like shining up so beautiful. I'm just really excited. It's going to be great education for speakers and consultants. But on top of that, we have more networking than we ever have with Weevolution. My Weevolution banner broke, so I got my old Jumpstart banners up here, but we are Weevolution in May 5th and 6th in Chandler. But the day before Weevolution, we're doing the expansion retreat. We're going to have a 1 day. It's a very small group. There is just like less than a handful of opportunities to attend. I think we were maxed at 40, and we were like 35 or 36 people already registered. So if you're interested in a day where you can come and look at all different areas of your life for wellness. Yes, there's the physical, the nutrition, that side, but you know, financial, emotional, spiritual. It's really a day for us to come and just breathe and take a day for ourselves as speakers and consultants before we dive into 2 really fun content-laden days with Weevolution. So to find out more about either of those events, you visit dentalspeakerinstitute.com. Now, thank you for giving me a minute to share that, Jen. Before we wrap up our recording here, are there any final thoughts you have for the speakers and consultants in our world that you would want to leave them with around this topic?
Sure. It's You said it about taking time for ourselves. That's so key. Even if it is that 10 minutes a day. And I think with these habits, it can get overwhelming. Just here in our short time, we talked about movement, hydration, nutrition, all the things. And it can get overwhelming, but it's just starting, even if you just take one of those and set a goal and focus on building the habit with the one over, even if you take a couple weeks and then maybe add in another one, and it's kind of like layering it, and you just build those habits and then focusing on really how you feel. Like, yes, you touched on, a lot of us do want to lose a few pounds, and certainly that is a great goal to have. But ultimately, in my mind, it's about how we feel, having good energy throughout our day, being able to like live the life that we want. So just getting started and just starting with one thing a little bit at a time.
Mm, great advice. And thank you for that. That's a good solid reminder for me too. When we go to beat ourselves up that, we should this, we should that. Thank you. This is so valuable. For our colleagues listening in, you can find Jen at drjenmurphy.com, just like it sounds. And her email is jen@drjenmurphy.com. Appreciate you listening in to this episode of The Healthy Speaker. Know that we send you our best wishes. You can do this. We believe in you. And Jen, thank you so much for being here and shining your light so brightly in dentistry. We need you, and we're so glad you're here sharing.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, and it's my pleasure.
Until next time, everyone, be well.